On this episode of MLO, we're joined by a very special guest, Heather Listy from the Real Agent Now group. Her and Addison are going to break down the top things you need to know when moving or living in Portland, Oregon.
It's the Funky Town PDX on the flippy dip. Right?
I like it.
Here we go. Living in Portland, Listy.
What up? Woo-hoo.
All right, what are we talking about today? We got a huge episode for everyone.
Everybody, 10 things you need to know when moving to Portland, Oregon.
2021 edition.
I love it.
Because everything's from like 2020 or 2019, really, right?
Absolutely.
When the channel got started.
Yeah, absolutely. 2018.
We're here to update the stats.
Let's update it. Lots
Inform
happening
the
in
people.
2021.
The previous top 10 is different.
It is different.
Actually, I don't remember off the top of my head, but I'm assuming it's evolved.
It has evolved.
But we got notes.
We do. We have notes.
we've
We
had
always
like
got notes.
We had a pre-meeting. We had everything about this. So we're going to dive into the top 10 things, everyone. So if you're considering moving to the Pacific Northwest, over in the Portland market, Southwest Washington, we are the people to help you here, right, Listy?
Absolutely. Give us a call. Send us a text.
Even
Send the pigeon carrier.
We're really trying to embrace how Jesse and Jackson
Yes.
have done an amazing job putting together this channel over the last few years. But that is just so them.
That's
It's
Jackson.
hard.
I can't pull it off. I wish I could pull off the pigeon carrier,
Yeah. Well,
but I just don't pull it off as well as Jackson.
or Jesse. They
Or
just have
Jesse.
this whole like unique look.
do. Yeah, I do.
Well,
It's the J Ray thing.
let's jump into number one.
Number one, quadrants. People in Portland, you got 4 quadrants. And our man over here, Addison, is going to dial into that because he is a genius and know-it-all Portland quadrants. He's awesome at it.
Well, genius is a rare description used for my name, but I will take that compliment. I really appreciate that. I think one of the biggest things to know, and we deal with people all the time, like probably anywhere from 10 to 20 upwards to maybe even 30 individual Zoom calls.
Absolutely.
People planning to relocate here in the next 3, 6 months, even a year, sometimes 2 years, sometimes
Yes.
more. And the first thing we like to start off with is really just how Portland's broken down into 4 quadrants. So you've got northeast, southeast, southwest, northwest. And what divides those two, somewhat of a compass, if you will, is the Willamette River. And I did say Willamette.
Willamette.
How do we hear it mostly?
Willamette.
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 I've heard Willamette, Willamette.
Willamette.
But it's Willamette, kind of a tongue twister there.
It is.
But yeah, we'll throw up that map showing the division with the Willamette River, and that indicates our east and our west side.
Perfect.
And then Burnside, which is one of Bridgetown, right? One of the main center point bridges, divides the north and the south.
Absolutely.
So within those quadrants, and we're not going to have a whole lot of time to really get into the nitty gritty, but a lot of our Zoom calls or the intro calls, Listy, are talking very specific to the quadrants.
Absolutely.
Right?
One of the reasons why you should call us if you're thinking about moving or coming to visit Portland is the first thing we're going to do is set up a Zoom call with you guys. We want to talk to you and learn more about what you're looking for in a neighborhood vibe so we can talk more about these quadrants and neighborhoods within those areas. So reach out to us so we can dive in deeper, but let's talk a little bit about them.
Yeah, and if you're looking at that map here, you'll see Portland right in the center, and then the river running down is the Willamette. So on the left side right here, that is going to be the west side. So that's everything we're talking about with anywhere from Multnomah Village all the way to Beaverton, the Tigard area. Tigard, not Tigard.
Not Tigard.
Tigard, Oregon. And then outwards to Nike, Intel, and the coined phrase you use that always throws me off in those meetings, Silicon Forest.
Silicon Forest. We're not the Silicon Valley. We are the Silicon Forest. It's a thing here in Portland.
It truly is.
I would like to also announce I am a West Side girl myself
You
over
are.
there on the west side of Portland.
You reside on the west side.
Yes.
And, I think one of the things we dive a lot into is like, I've lived in every quadrant. We're both from here. So we know these areas. We know the evolution of them and where they're at. For me personally, my wife and I are up in North Portland. So a little bit further up as the Willamette River starts to bend in the bluffs. So we talk a lot of opportunities up there. And then also on the right-hand side, when you're looking at it, that's going to be the east side. So you're going to see your division from northeast down to southeast. You're going to hit that Laurelhurst area. Everyone wants to talk to your hotspots of Hawthorne division. A new kind of, we've become fans of the Woodstock area for a lot of different
Woodstock
reasons.
and Selwood.
And Selwood.
All great areas on the east side.
So we hit that as number one primarily just to say there's so much diversity within the quadrants. Mm-hmm. So when we're working with people and we hear their story, and they don't know this a lot, but we're getting a vibe for who they are as people, their family, their goals in the next 2, 5, 10 years, because those goals are going to constitute the quadrants, most likely, right?
Yep.
That's number one. I thought that was good.
I think it was really good. Again, call us for a Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
We will Zoom call and chat with you guys so we can really dive into what works best for you guys in your family and your goals.
Well, we're not trying to just like pitch the call to action. It's more just like we could go on forever. These meetings are usually like 30 to 60 minutes, Absolutely. Really understanding you and explaining the quadrants or the sides, whether it's Beaverton or Gresham. What are you looking at? Is it Vancouver, Camas on the Washington side?
Absolutely.
Maybe that's a better fit for you. So
it's important to understand them.
It really is.
And to know that they do exist and that you really need to take a look at that when you are coming to move or visit the Portland area.
Mm-hmm. And just having a full team that's lived in these areas or do currently live is huge. And we're going to match you up. So let's go number 2, right?
Number 2. Mm-hmm. Oceans, mountains, and waterfalls. I love Portland.
It's almost like a Destiny's Child song.
It is, almost.
Like ocean. No, that's not. I'm not going to sing
right.
it. People don't want to hear that.
No, they don't.
Not from me. Maybe from you.
Maybe. No, definitely not from me. But definitely. I mean, nature is everywhere around us at your, doorstep in Portland. I mean, there's parks, trails, everything. But really, you go an hour west, you're at the beach. An hour, east, you're at the mountains. But then you go up the gorge, an hour, you're at the waterfalls, Multnomah waterfalls.
Yep.
Amazing, gorgeous. So much to do here, you guys.
And it might seem kind of obvious because that's why a lot of people moved to the Pacific Northwest. But it did rank number 2 on our rankings because we take it for granted. I mean, growing up here, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm an hour from the beach, hour from the mountain.
Yep.
So surf, snowboard, less than 60 minutes for the most part, assuming no traffic. But then the gorge and the Hood River has beautiful hiking, very sought after, accessible getaways for weekend trips. And then Central Oregon, are you kidding me? Like, wow, Bend, all of that stuff. Those are huge weekend resort towns. And then wineries, Newburgh, like, all of the wineries are just, people come here from all around the country, and this could be your backyard.
And they're easy, like an hour and a half away. I mean, such easy day trips.
Super
just right there. I love it.
We get a lot of people that come here from different parts of the country, too. And the first thing, oh my gosh, trees, elevation, all of this. They love the landscape. And being here now, 30-something years, it's just like, oh, that's been my screensaver my whole life.
Right.
So it's I'm talking to myself, free therapy, need to appreciate that diversity.
Yeah. I will say the one thing that I'm amazed by is when I am taking people from out of town out to look at homes is they are amazed by these huge mature trees through the neighborhoods. They're like, my house is surrounded. I'm living in a forest. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, and I mean, especially those Douglas firs, those are 60 to 100 years old minimum.
Yeah.
And they're beautiful, and they're awesome, and the air is nice. That's a big one, too, air quality. A lot of people, particularly from a southern state of Oregon, I won't name it because I appreciate everyone, say, oh, my gosh, the air quality is so nice. And a lot of that is the trees. So
absolutely.
Let's go number 3. We got a good pace going here.
We do. Good pace.
The diversity of seasons. 4 seasons, not the resort, but the weather conditions we get annually, right?
Yes, 4 seasons. We get a lot of people asking about the rain. Obviously, we are a green state. It's beautiful here. And part of the reason for that is because, yes, we do get rain. Mm-hmm. Does it rain every day of the year? No. Is it super depressing? No, not at all. I mean, yeah, winters are wet and, can be gloomy, but last week, it was 55 degrees and sunny, blue skies here, and it's the middle of the winter.
Yeah, it's a good point. I think a lot of it's perspective and what you want, because we get some people who really want it, and then we get some people who don't, and they're moving here for other reasons, and it really affects them personally. So I think the number one thing to know is kind of look at like family members, right? The seasons are your family members here. There's highs and the lows, but the lows usually outweigh the highs. So we have a particular client that moved here from California, and they're like, it's so cold here. And it's like, yeah, you got to get that double sock game going. And like, double sock game, I'm like, you got to wear 2 socks when your feet are cold.
Yes.
Come on now.
Yes.
Come on, wear more socks. And they followed up with me, and that approach.
They're
really does
wearing,
work.
I'm still going back to rating my family on the high and the lows. Let's talk about it.
That's a good one, right?
I like it. That's a really good one. I'm going to rank my family now.
Well, I just think, like, one thing to note is no one in Portland that's from here uses an umbrella. They have, like, a rain shell, not a rain jacket. So it's something that you could throw in that's waterproof, and you grab and go. But people don't bother with the umbrella.
You are not from here. People know you're from that southern state.
The only time you're going to use an umbrella is, like, say you're going to, like, a concert, an event, and maybe your spouse or yourself are wearing a really nice formal outfit, and you don't want to be drenched going into that event.
Or let's not lie, in the summertime, I use an umbrella to shade myself from the hot sun at my son's baseball games. It gets really hot.
That's different.
I need some umbrellas to give me some shade.
No, that's a good point.
But
I didn't think about something.
But umbrellas are not really a thing here in the Portland metro area.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
I would say just to bookend this point, because we got 10 of them, so we got to keep the pace going.
Absolutely. Keep the
cadence proper.
The rain is not terrible, and the weather is actually great. We do have the 4 seasons. The fall is my absolute favorite. The colors are so vibrant. The trees are amazing.
That is early October.
It's
through Halloween.
It's gorgeous. Snow, we get a dusting of snow.
Doesn't stick in the valley.
It doesn't stick. It really doesn't stick in the valley. Everyone gets really excited and, school cancels, but it's usually melted away by, 11 a.m.
I think the easiest way to explain snow, too, is like Mount Hood, which a lot of people know here that are moving here.
Yep.
And then Portland, when it comes down, it's almost like a half pipe. And that's the valley where that river is, the Willamette. And it's a very unique climate situation that just doesn't have the right algorithm or chemistry to have snow. So it's very, very rare.
Yep.
I mean, it's 2021 January right now. The last time we had snow, real snow, 4 years ago now?
4 years ago. Just popped up on my Facebook memories.
Yeah, 4 years ago was also, and that was like Snowmageddon. Everything shuts down when it even is 1 inch because the people here, the melting pot of people just can't, we can't drive in it. Can't, everything just kind of stay at home order, which has kind of been normal for the pandemic. So it probably wouldn't be a whole lot different.
No.
So not a whole lot of snow. You don't need a 4-wheel drive vehicle.
No,
You really
don't.
don't.
Need 4-wheel drive.
It's cool
nice
to have
all-wheel drive, though. I'm not going to lie. It's nice to have a little all-wheel drive here.
Well, and I drive a 4Runner with like all this camping stuff just to like look cool. But I don't
and
do
you do look cool on
that.
that.
But you don't need it. A lot of people think that's a big deal about like, even my mother-in-law was telling you pre-show, she drives a Ford Fusion hybrid and she puts studs on it and she lives up in the mountain.
Yeah, easy.
See, you can get away with a lot of it.
You don't need 4-wheel drive.
But if you're looking for an excuse to buy a new car and you need us to have your back, we will say you need it. Just let us know if you're trying
Let us know. Yep. We'll totally sign off on that.
Let's roll to the next one.
I think we talk about the job market. Yeah. I think that's really, really important. Portland is booming with some great big employers here. We've got Nike, we've got Adidas, we've got Boeing, Intel, OHSU. I mean, we've got so much happening here in the Portland market. It drives a lot of people here for work.
Yeah, that's a good point. Those are the big pillars. And I think, too, just to add to your expression of it, I think there's a lot of diversity of job opportunities
Absolutely.
Here. A lot of the other cities you at the United States, it's like, 80% of the people work at this factory or this company. It's not like that here. It's very eclectic. It's like, we use Jesse's term, the melting pot. It is really a melting pot of careers because this is a big startup city, very open-minded, tech-friendly, very casual.
Silicon Forest.
I was waiting for you to use that.
Okay, sorry. Thank you.
The Silicon Forest. Lots of tech sector out here. Yeah. So you can always just kind of really find what works for you. There's a lot of different networking opportunities, very tight-knit network, but that attracts a lot of diversity, which is what I love about the Portland Metro. People from all over the world are here. So it's not the same cookie-cutter scenario.
It is 2021. Okay, we were hit with the pandemic. We all know we had to shelter in place and schools were closed for the school year here in the Portland metro area. We did online learning in 2020 and we're still online learning. Yeah. Our kids are currently home. They are not in public school. So I just want to be really honest with that. People moving here are really surprised that our kids are not physically going to school. They're doing online schooling.
Yeah, and I'd say from the, financing side and perspective here, I'm just seeing this huge change in what people need out of a house.
Absolutely.
So it's a lot different. There's, we get a lot of people wanting ADUs or, your traditional 40s to 60s homes or new construction. But now people need home office. They need space. They need good soundproofing.
Yes, they are home with their kids all day.
I mean, for the first time, I heard someone say, I really don't want the home office right next to the laundry room because I don't like hearing the washer and dryer when I'm working. And it was like, wow, there's a new 2021. That's totally a great point, right?
It is a great point. Yeah.
So just the way people are looking at houses are more a 360 view.
It is.
Of your whole day rather than like, what's my experience when I'm watching Netflix in the weekends? It really is a 7-day, 24/7 sitch. Do you have a place to go to take a call outside or in an office or put a kid in a nice productive area to do arts and crafts and social studies all in one corner? And can you keep an eye on them while you're working? It's hard.
It is hard. It's really hard. I just wanted to let people know. Hopefully we will be going back to school soon. Possibly elementary will be the first one going back.
I'm trying not to sing the Adam Sandler back to school. Billy Madison. Back to school.
Right? I love Billy Madison. Oh, Adam Sandler.
Little throwback there.
It is a throwback. So so just be aware of that. That might change your guys' lifestyles moving to the Portland area if your kids are not back in school currently. And that does affect also school-sponsored activities, sports, clubs, things like that are not happening. However, if your kids are involved in club sports, those are happening for the most part. Obviously, safety measures are in place, but my kiddo plays club baseball, and we've been practicing the entire time through COVID. So,
and set up that Zoom call. You got to give us a call because we will dive deeper into your particular situation, kids' ages, school districts. Heather and Jessica are fantastic, and they are both mothers, so you have a really local insight to what it's like to help your kids get through the school district. And then I kind of really take on more of that younger, no kids yet situation. And we get a lot of that. I want to turn it into a rental. I want appreciation. I want to grow a portfolio. So collectively as a board, we really service a lot of perspectives.
We're very diverse. I love it. We offer something to everybody here.
We give ourselves great compliments.
The hipster, man bun, kicking ass guy over here. And then you got the mom boss on this side. We got you covered on every side.
We really do.
I do. I love that about our team. I got perspective from every side.
It takes it. There's more than one size of shoe, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
That wasn't the best one I've ever had.
I know. I was trying to come up with, I didn't know what I was going to respond with that
You played it off well. Let's go to the next one.
Yeah,
though.
next
We got
one.
momentum. We got 3 more. Number 8, inventory. Everyone knows this right now.
This is across the country, you guys. Yeah. There's low inventory. There are not enough houses for sale on the market. Let's hope that we start to see some really good inventory. In Portland, really our best inventory usually hits March, April, May. That's when we see the most amount of inventory. So I'm hoping we're going to see that this year. Last year, the pandemic, obviously, we didn't see the amount of inventory we normally do because we were shelter in place. People were like, do I sell? Do I not? What's going to happen? So I've already started seeing since the new year of 2021, more homes are starting to hit the market. So I'm excited about what we're seeing. But low inventory brings in multiple bids, competitive market.
Yeah, I'm trying to put together in a really condensed. The takeaway right off the bat, like we commonly get the questions like, what are houses really going for?
Yeah.
Okay, inventory is right. Is low, and we all know that, right?
Yeah.
So I would say I'm trying to remember. I don't remember an under asking offer that's closed. So if whatever you're looking at, that's going to be the baseline. And then another thing, depending on your financial situation, cash to close availability.
Absolutely.
If you're needing to negotiate in some repairs or some closing costs to be paid by the seller, just tack those on to the sales price. So for example, say your closing costs are 10 grand. The house is 500. Your starting point mentally needs to be 510.
Absolutely.
And then you might put in a buffer. Everything we talked to Listy, everything's going another 10 over on average. So you're at 520 right there.
Yep.
That's a quick Click, add up. So whatever you see it on there, just add more to, like, you have to be open-minded. Your approach right now in the market is to get in, not to get a deal. And people ask us, when do you think the market's going to collapse and whatnot? And this is a whole nother topic of conversation, but everyone on our side of the industry knows that the changes in compliance and lending are making us very secure in the market. Actually, real estate is holding our economy together quite well. And the supply and demand situation of relocation, particularly to the Pacific Northwest, is showing a very long-term stability for this market because we're the cheapest place on the West Coast.
Yep. Absolutely. I mean, our neighbors down south in the Bay Area and then up north in Seattle, we are a lot more affordable.
It's the new Oregon Trail.
It is. I like it.
Google that. That was a very popular floppy disk video game on computers. I don't know if you Oregon Trail.
Yeah. There's a card game too.
I think going back to the inventory, just to like close that out though, you need a good team to compete.
I agree.
And people ask us, is it better to buy it on the off season or in the in season, like summer versus winter? And it's like, okay, well, the winter, there's less inventory, and there's less buyers. So the ratios are like the same. Traditionally, though, it gets a little more hectic in the summer because there's a real timeline restraint with schools starting and ending and the weather being better. And the majority of people prefer to move in the sun versus the dark.
Absolutely.
But there's less inventory in the winter and there's less buyers. So it's almost the same type of market, right?
It is. It really is.
Let's go 9.
Let's go 9, which is kind of still in the housing. We're going to talk about housing prices. What you guys see online, you can Google, hey, average housing price in Portland, and you're going to see something like $431. I don't know if that's the actual number, but it's pretty low. It's a low price. I want everybody to realize that does not just include single family homes. That average includes condos, townhomes, manufactured homes. So that's it's
a skewed average.
It is. It's a skewed average. So I don't like that at all. I just want to be really honest, like in Portland proper, in the city of Portland, your average house, like a good single family home, is going to start off about $550. It really is. Can you find something under $550? Absolutely. But keep in mind, it's probably going to need some updating, whether it's cosmetic, might be deferred maintenance that's going to need some help. So I just really want to be honest and candid with you guys that in Portland, when you see like, I can get a house for $400, $430, not really.
Yeah, I would say like your move-in ready, most competitive bucket, right?
Yeah.
Your most competitive move-in ready. And so not your like tear downs.
Yeah.
I'm going to work on this for 2 years, like The Notebook. Do you remember that?
I love
The
Notebook.
Throwback where he like redid the whole ranch house.
He redid it the whole
You
time.
even know his name. I'm impressed with that.
I
I'd say that's $450 to $550 is like that. Like, whoa's a fire sale. It's going to go 30 to 60 over minimum.
Absolutely.
So there's a lot of stuff we do in our mortgage strategy call where we really dive into like loan limits, monthly payments, because a lot of people have been super surprised. Really? That's the all-inclusive monthly payment right now? Yeah, interest rates have dropped significantly since.
You got
more
buying power. I love it.
Tons of buying power. People that are selling, they might have bought a house in another state, similar price point, and they're buying the same thing and updating or upgrading, and their monthly payments $200 to $300 cheaper. I mean, it's pretty unreal. So we are able to do a lot of that on that first call, and it's not anything formal. We're having a conversation similar to this.
Super easy, no pressure, getting to know you, what your needs are, kind of diving in.
And not to discredit, we go through a lot of the Washington options because a lot of people are looking at Vancouver, Washougal, Ridgefield, and these places that you've become.
Yeah, I'm dual licensed in Oregon and Washington, so I definitely can help you not only in Portland but also over the bridge in very popular Vancouver, Washington, Camas, and Ridgefield. Those are hot areas, which we'll talk about in another video.
Yeah, we're doing another video for the
really quick, just about housing prices. I just kind of want to give you guys an average, really a house, if it's listed properly, like, some realtors will list it really low to get a big, huge bidding war going. And I hate that, but it happens. It happens everywhere. But if it's really priced at where it should be, on average, it's going for about 1% more than the listing price. If it's a hot house, you're on Redfin and you see hot house, usually it's going for about 3 to 4% over that asking listing price. Again, if it's priced correctly. So I just want to kind of put that out there to people as well.
It's good.
They're looking.
It's real good.
Yeah.
I like that. Last one.
The last one.
It's intentionally number 10.
It is number 10. Let's talk about some fun facts about Oregon. I love it.
No sales tax.
Who doesn't love to go shopping? It
Spenders,
says
that's a
that
big
it's
one.
$29.99. It is $29.99. No sales tax.
No
I
doubt.
love
A lot
it.
of people come here. They go to the outlets. Outlets are huge.
Yes, huge.
Woodburn, the coast,
Yep.
Central Oregon, even in the city, the no tax thing is big.
Yeah, no tax.
Mhm.
I love this one. Step away from the gas pump.
You don't got to pump your own gas.
You don't. You don't have to pump your own gas. I
Yeah.
kind of love it. I know. So
Yeah, and it's nice too. It creates jobs.
It does.
You know, it has also a lot of people that creates jobs just by having them come and service your gas. It takes a little bit to get used to it. When I go on the Washington side, because Washington's
Yes.
pump your
pump your own gas.
That's always weird. I've been caught in where I haven't thought like, oh, I'm in Washington, and I'm just waiting.
You're
like,
just sitting there.
like a
I
dummy.
can see you. You're just sitting
hey,
there. And you're
why aren't you filling my gas? Oh, I'm in Washington. Oopsies.
It does happen.
That's a big one.
I like it. Something that's important to remember here in the Pacific Northwest. Your pets are family.
Little furries.
Fur babies. Yes, dogs, cats, they are considered family members here. They go everywhere with us.
Oh yeah, tons of like bars and restaurants and are set up to have pets come in.
Yep.
Like there's this place called Birdie Time on the east side
Yeah.
where it's an indoor putt-putt golf course and brewery, and it's dog friendly and it's
Yep.
super cool, and a lot of patios are set up for that, and it's like almost like expected. Like water dishes need to be out by
Yep.
all the.
It's fun. I
Yeah.
love that. I love that about Portland. And we have so many dog parks. Tons and tons of dog parks. which is
Lots
awesome.
of a lot of people are like, we want to be close to a park, and then people like us from here are like, I don't know where we could put you where there's not a park close by, because
Yeah.
like so many of the
That
communities just have them.
everybody asks
you
for it.
know?
Yeah, I would probably say on 95% of our Zoom calls we do with buyers just calling in to kind of talk about Portland and get an idea.
Oh, yeah,
Learn.
yeah.
They want to. They're number one.
We
I want to
really
live by a
need-
park. I want to be close to a trail. Okay, that's
And we always have to put it in their perspective, because other people are coming from places that don't have that stuff, where
Yeah.
it's just like sprawling. They
Absolutely.
might not have any access to parks and forests. So we're so used to it. It's an amazing piece to the Portland Metro.
yeah. I
Mhm.
love it.
I think that was really good.
I like
10.
it. I like it. 10 items. All right.
I'd just say lastly too, let Listy and I get to know you. We truly enjoy meeting people from all over the country, and it's never too soon to start the conversation. Like I said before,
yeah.
3, 6, 12, 2 months.
Even if you're just curious, you're not sure if you want to move to Portland, people call and reach out. That's fine. Let's just get you on a Zoom call with Addy and I. Let's
Yeah.
just have a conversation and talk about what you're looking for, what interests you about Portland. We just answer a lot of questions. So reach out to us.
Yeah, let us know. We'll hop on that Zoom and we'll get to know you, get to know your story, and give you some insight to what it's like to live in Portland and Southwest Washington. And until next time, right?
Yeah, next time.
We're going to catch you later.
Thanks for joining us today. Be sure to join us next week when we cover the 3 C's of home buying. And if you have any questions or comments, feel free to give us a call or text our VIP hotline at 503-847-9038. We'll see you next week.